you've been to some far places. It's hard to carry on when you feel all alone. Now I've swung back down again. It's worse than it was before. If I had seen such riches, I could live with being poor. Oh, sit down, oh, sit down, oh, sit down. Sit down next to me. Sit down, 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 down. Sympathy.
Oh, big up, Dal. Big up.
Yeah, Jez.
So you're the first to do the Arsenal adventure journey, whatever you want to bleed and call it. So welcome aboard, my friend.
Thanks, Jez.
I know you're busy today, so we'll keep this as short as we possibly can.
I'm on my time is your time, Jez.
Right, mate. All right. Right. So question one for you, mate.
So we'll get right into it. Hello, everyone in the chat.
Yeah, evening, everyone. Evening, everyone.
Like a job interview.
So with all the teams around the world,
Yeah.
that you could have watched, supported, whatever. Why Arsenal, mate? What attracted you?
Well, gosh, you're making me go back literally about 25 years. Yeah. So I was living with my girlfriend at the time, and then my daughter was born. So the woman I was with, we were having hard times, and she had some friends that lived close by, so she would go out on weekends partying with her girlfriends while I would stay home with my kid. And there was a channel on cable, on what we call cable here in America, on telly, on Fox Sports World, and every night on Fridays and Saturdays, because the ex was always out, whoring around, that I would watch replays of all the weekend matches. They would spend an hour and show replays of all the goals and the teams who played. And this was 1999. So remember at the time as well, this was also when Manchester United made its big USA advertising push, right? I started watching I started watching primarily the replays because that's all I could see on American sports television at the time. But it was all about Manchester United. They would have specials on Manchester United. They were interviewing Ryan Giggs and David Beckham, Paul Scholes and Alex Ferguson, right? It was always ESPN in America at like 2 a.m. would have a half-hour fucking special on Manchester United, right? Well, sometimes these replays, the Arsenal games were so good at that time, and of course the rivals United, there was a lot more of Arsenal talk. And then I started seeing a lot more of Bergkamp. And then I kind of put 2 and 2 together. It's like, oh, Dennis Bergkamp, I remember him from 96. I think there was a Euro or 98 World Cup where he scored for the Netherlands, and it was an incredible goal. And I just remember like this Bergkamp guy, and I remember reading about it in the newspaper, just Dennis Bergkamp. So I finally did, some investigative service or shit, or whatever you want to call it. So I was looking at like 442 magazine and so forth, and started to find more and more like English football information. And so I finally ran across like a big article on Arsenal, Arsene Wenger, Robert Pires, Dennis Bergkamp, of course, who I was really interested in. And then there was this guy, Thierry Henry. And I started putting 2 together, Jez, like, oh, what I'm reading in these 442s are the same guys I'm seeing, obviously, in the replay of the Premier League. And so, obviously, I played football since I was about 7 years old. Even as a grown man in my 30s, I played five-a-side indoor. I managed and coached a team. I did sponsorship. So I've always been involved with football since literally the age of 7 or 8 years old. But we could never get teams on the television, back in the 80s and so forth here in America. And then finally, when cable television came out, different sports channels, etc. But finally putting 2 and 2 together, I finally said, oh, Dennis Bergkamp plays for this Arsenal team who I've watched highlights of, and I guess, never really paid much attention to, right? And then as time went on and spending time with my daughter, who is now 25, 26 years old, when she was a baby, is we would just stay up and I would bounce her on my knee until like 1 a.m. because mom was still out drinking and whoring around. And so we would watch football replays, my daughter and I together, like 1, 2 years old. And so we would pay attention to Arsenal. And I just remember being in awe of Henry and Bergkamp, and this old professor, weird looking guy was the manager. I was really kind of put off, I guess, in a way by Arsene Wenger's like look, because it just looked so like just so different. You know, he looked so old style. I'm not trying to be rude, right, in any way, but he just had a very unique look to him that, you know, in American sports, like especially with the NFL and basketball, they're all young guys specifically, right? You don't really see older gentlemen in suits at sporting events in America if they're coaching them, right? It's a different kind of world. So Arsene Wenger, I thought, was kind of weird, and they were calling him the professor, and there was a lot of talk about Man United, their rivals. And then I just saw Thierry Henry, and that was kind of the it, Jez. I just was a fan since then. And I've had this T-shirt for years. You know, I've got several jerseys, T-shirts, books, magazines. You can see I've still got a little bit in the back there in the corner next to the flag.
Yeah.
With the Arsene Wenger biography, the whole story of Arsenal from the 1886 Woolwich days, Dial Square, etc. So fast forward to about 2004. My ex is now my ex. My daughter's now about 5 years old. I'm engaged and moved back from the Seattle area back down to Portland with friends and family again. And beautiful thing called Fox Soccer is on Fox Sports Channel, and they show everything. And I start watching Arsenal every morning. There was an Arsenal Newcastle match at this bar in Portland called the Horse Path, and the owner of Big Up Mama, and the owner of the bar was an Arsenal fan. Rest in peace. His name was Don Younger. He was straight from North London. He lived in Portland. He opened the bar in the 70s. He was an Arsenal fan. He had Arsenal stuff all through the bar. So I used to grab the missus, and we'd go down to he'd roll out the big screen TV, and he would put on Fox Soccer, and it'd be like Arsenal Newcastle. And it's Newcastle. So it'd be Sunday morning, at like 7 in the morning. And me and the missus would be the only ones in the pub. And DAL would have the big English, because they served the English breakfast with the beans, the toast, bacon, and the ham and all that. And I would drink Newcastle ales and Boddingtons at 7 o'clock on Sunday mornings watching Arsenal. But my wife would be with me reading the newspaper or whatever, because there was no phones really back then, and she didn't care about football. So she would let me drink lagers and eat my English breakfast at 7 in the morning. I'd be wiped out for the rest of the day. But I watched Arsenal win 3-0.
Well, that's not a bad day out.
Yeah.
Not surprised you've been the first one, though. But there you go. That's not for me to say. The match
no. She's ancient history.
Be up to Anthony. I've got all them questions, Anthony. They're already in the chat, in the questions here, mate. They're already
right.
Get to them.
I probably talked a little fast through that.
Yeah. So anyway, right, next one. What in the time you've watched Arsenal is your most memorable favourite game? Can be any game, game, league, Europe, wherever you want to go.
Shit. I've got to say my favorite game. Oh man, Jez, put me on the spot. I have to say one of my favorite games was I think it was the 1-0 against Madrid when Henry did the run to score the goal.
Yeah, good game.
I think that was a phenomenal game. I really liked the 4-4 with Arshavin. That was an incredible Liverpool game.
You talk about the Liverpool game?
Yeah, when it was 4-4 and he was 4 and it was the pouring rain, even though we didn't win. There was the 5-2 against Reading. I think Theo Walcott scored, I think, a hat trick that game. There was the Robin Van Persie goal against Chelsea. I think we beat them 2-0 on the day. It was controversial. I think it hit Ashley Cole in the foot. Robin Van Persie put one in. The Robin Van Persie goal against Charlton when he flew through the air like fucking Superman and scored that goal. Do you remember that one? So yeah, I kind of remember goals more than games, to be honest, Jess. I guess there was the Liverpool game. Santi Cazorla hit the crossbar and came back and put it in, and we won that game. I believe it was 4-2. And of course, the whole FA Cup game was pretty amazing. I think we were down 4-0 at one point. Came back and 4-4. Didn't go to penalties. Wasn't the FA Cup game against Hull where Aaron Ramsey came back and scored?
Yeah.
A couple goals. Yeah, a lot of games. Yes. Recently, the Man United one, actually, when Declan Rice won it for us in the 89th minute, 2-1 against Man United. Declan Rice scored his first goal for Arsenal.
Fair enough. Okay,
right?
mate.
So, yeah, I mean, too many to list, Jez. But yeah, I remember, I guess, more goals and moments than I would like full games, if that makes sense.
I'll get you. Right. Best goal you've ever seen scored by Arsenal. Your best goal.
Cesc Fabregas's penalty against Barcelona to make it 2-1. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, forgot about that one.
You talk about he had a fractured leg that game as well afterwards. He was playing with a really bad injury. But my favorite goal, one of them was the Henry goal. I think it was against Sunderland, where he came back and scored that goal for the assist from Alex Song. That was a great goal.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite goal is Liam Brady's against Tottenham in '78, but it's also the one Henry scored against Man United at Highbury, just like
yes,
like that.
Yeah, the 07 goal, right, in the pouring rain. Yep. That was beautiful. I remember watching that on TV. And also I got to say the Norwich goal of Jack Wilshere and Olivier Giroud when we tiki-taka'd into their box and Giroud put it in. And I believe Giroud scored on a scorpion kick goal as well against Crystal Palace.
Yeah, the scorpion kick.
I mean, in reality, let's be real. We got rid of Giroud a bit too soon, but, you know,
I
that's
think
politics for you. But the Bergkamp goal against Newcastle, I mean, it's always on replay, right? Where he dinks it around the Newcastle player and goes around him.
Yeah.
The opposite direction. Oh, man.
Don't say that. I'm in the chat.
The Arshavin goal against United, the Nasri goal against United was phenomenal. Cesc Fabregas against Tottenham when he nicked the ball off of Palacios and we scored 2 goals within 20 seconds and we beat him 5-2.
Yeah.
I mean, these are great times, Jazz. I love going back to these memories.
Then we had a proper team, mate. We had a
yeah. I mean, there was times though, like during the Danielson era and like Senderos and that sort of era. I know we did well in the table, but the football at times was absolutely dog shit, Jazz.
Mm.
You know, I had no trust in Danielson, Senderos, even Alex Song at times. I was like, During that time, I was pretty much like, we need to make some wholesale changes. And that was, I think, 2010, 11, 12, that era.
Yeah, you're about right. James, Real Madrid CF3 2004 Lee. Hi, Jez. Big up the panel. Big up Aces. Big up Kyle. Big up, man. Big up to you. The match day guru RVBP is dead to me now. Yeah, I'm hearing you, mate. Pure vibes. What's good, people? We're here. Big up DAL.
Good vibes.
DAL favourite player at one time was Glenn Helder. Really? Keeping it real, Chelsea. Big up Jez and DAL. Hope you two are doing well. All good, man. All good. Vic says the Bergkamp goal away to Leicester was a classic. Yes,
I don't remember that one.
You forget some of these goals, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
You know, just us, you can't remember them all. Carl says we never played to Giroud's strengths. The second he left, we became a team who spammed crosses. Yep, fact. Put on the shades, Bergkamp versus Newcastle. Say no more. Yeah, absolute legend goal that.
That era, Carl. Carl knows what era I'm talking about. the Giroud era.
Your favorite cup game, not cup final, cup game. Your favorite cup game. Any cup, doesn't matter. You know, it could be any
cup game. It's got to be the 5-2 against Inter.
Oh yes.
It's got to be the 5-2 versus Inter.
I said that the other day as well.
They were talking so much shit after that first game. And Henri said, okay. And he put on a masterclass. Yeah, that 5-2 was absolutely like stuff it. Javier Zanetti didn't say shit after that for years.
And the fact that the Inter fans were actually applauding Arsenal off the park because that was the biggest loss they'd ever had to an English team in the Champions League.
Yeah,
European Cup at the time.
I would say even there was some. I would say there's a goal that Adebayor scored against Villarreal in the Champions League. I think that was 07 or 08. He did sort of a sideways bicycle kick at the right, I think, to make it 2-1 against Villarreal. I believe that was a Champions League match in the group stage. Trying to think what else. And I would say, shit, Jez, though, that run of FA Cups we went on for 3 straight years was pretty nice. But the whole one, I think we were down 4-0, I think, against Hull, if I remember.
Yeah, 2-0 down. 2-0 down.
Was it 2-0? Okay.
Yeah,
that's right. 2-0 at halftime. Right? When we came back. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there was one during Unai Emery's run in the Europa League, and the only thing I can remember is getting killed in the final. There's got to be maybe a game in there that added Aubameyang, some FA Cup games that he got us through, obviously saved Arteta's job. But yeah, Jez, I'd have to go through my complete memory bank of everything, to be honest.
No, that's fair enough, mate.
No Jameson today.
Next one, mate. Your best cup final. Arsenal Cup final. What's your...
So,
remember. Smash the lights up, people. Smash the lights up.
Oh, shit. It's a 2005 FA Cup when we beat United on penalties, and Patrick Vieira was giving them the big one.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
That game was brutal. So I would have to say the 2005 FA Cup final.
Asa says Bergkamp goal against Southampton at Highbury was magnificent. Yeah, I mean, he just scored class goals, didn't he? Luke, Henry's back heel against Charlton. Yeah, that was class. Sneaky. He was such a sneaky bugger back then, wasn't he? He was so sneaky. I was in that Bernabeu that night in 2006 for Real Madrid versus Arsenal, says Hendon. That Henry goal still sends shivers down my spine. What a night.
Right. Yeah. That was incredible.
There, mate. Nelson says, why are you lot so angry after Arsenal win? Are we angry? What? I don't know what show you're watching, mate. Because I think you're watching the wrong one. Because I don't think we're sitting here angry. We're not even talking about the game at the weekend. We're talking about something completely different. So I think you got us confused on another show, mate, to be honest with you. But thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Hit the likes, people. You know what I mean? Aces, 71 or 79. I said 79 myself.
Okay. Now, let's put this in perspective, Jez. 79, I was about 5 years old.
Yeah. I know that.
So, I'm going to have to look on YouTube and look those up. I mean, I know there's video footage of those finals on YouTube. I'm going to have to check it out.
Yeah, there's 71, 79. Got to have a look at them, mate. They're legends. Right, next question, mate. I think I know where you're going to go with this one.
Oh, boy.
I know already. Your favourite Arsenal player?
Dennis Bergkamp.
Oh, I thought okay.
You thought I was going to say Henry?
I thought you were going to go Henry. Yeah, I did.
He's a very, very close second. But the short time I really even was... What I'm trying to think, what year did Dennis Bergkamp leave Arsenal? Was it 2000? No, 2006.
What are you talking about? Sorry.
What year did Bergkamp leave Arsenal?
2005-6.
5-6, right? Yeah. So the limited amount of time I've got to watch him, do his brilliance. By the time he left Arsenal, right? By the time he left Arsenal, now I had the full cable television. I had, the the wife, the new apartment, right? I was fully engaged in football, and Dennis Bergkamp leaves, right? I finally found, right? So I've got to say Dennis Bergkamp just slightly, but I guess you got a point, Jez. If I really, really dug down deep, it would have to really be Henry, because like I said, I've played my whole life, right? I played in high school, middle school. I've played in rec teams. I played on a couple of elite teams. I tried out for Portland State University. Me and a couple of mates did, which of course that didn't work out. So I wasn't as good as some of the college level players that they have now, and even back, 30 years ago. But the thing is that I've never, ever seen anyone like Henry play football like that. Of course, we were calling it soccer back then.
It was different.
Right? It was completely different. Like just the athleticism, the strength, the IQ, like you mentioned, and then someone mentioned the back heel. I think it was Luke. The goal against Tottenham, the run against Madrid, the 5-2 at Inter, right? And even though I was watching Fox Soccer Channel, I was able to watch these morning games now. Well, actually, I think they were on maybe it was on Fox or ESPN. One of the big sport networks, anyway, showed all the Premier League games in the morning, right? Like they do now, but as you know, it's all been sliced and diced to different media outlets, right? You got NBC, TNT, and it's a lot different now, right, for the kids. But back then, it was like the sports channel in the mornings, it showed English football. And then later in the afternoon, they might show like a Serie A match, right? So during that time, I must confess, Jez, that Henry was absolutely the bee's knees, because I wasn't able to watch, if this makes sense, I wasn't able to watch Bergkamp, week in and week out. I just wasn't able to do that because it just wasn't shown here in America, right? So I guess if the truth be told, I would think it is Henry, because I mean, my wife and I bought her a puppy. We have our dog who passed away after 14 years. About 4 years ago, we named the dog Henry. We named him after Thierry Henry, but we called him Henry, right? So anyway, we named our first dog after Thierry Henry. So I guess it's got to be Thierry Henry. But I mean, let's be real. He was the best Premier League player ever. And you can say Holland, Aguero.
Well, let's see how long they can keep it up for the amount of years that Henry.
Right.
Mama says she was 18 in 79. Same age as me, Mama. I was 18.
Nice.
Back in those glory days. And he says, I was 6 weeks old in the FA Cup final in 79. You don't remember it very well then, mate. That's a shame.
Yeah, 79.
Netweed says, Henry baited us all to follow Arsenal. Now we're bound for life through thick, but most of the time very thin when it comes to dining at the top table. Yeah, very true, my friend.
Very true. Well said.
Ravi says, big up DAL, Jez. Smash up the lights. Yeah, smash up the lights. Subscribe to DAL. And if you're new, subscribe to me. Anyway, next question, mate. This is one not Arsenal related at all, right? So this is completely where you want to go. Your best non-Arsenal player.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Okay.
As much as we hate him, as much as he came, I think, literally that close to joining Arsenal, but even if he would have joined us, Jez, there's no real proof that he would have been the Ronaldo that he is now, right? Mm-hmm. So, but with that said, I mean, to me, Ronaldo is it's Ronaldo Messi debate, and the reason why I go for Ronaldo, right, is because he's done it in multiple countries. He's won trophies at United, at Madrid, at Juventus, right? And Messi stayed with the same club. I mean, and PSG, I mean, his career sort of really took, I think, a downfall a bit at PSG, while Ronaldo was still kind of on the ascendancy. And I realized that people have completely different viewpoints and disagreements on this. When I watch Messi, right, I see someone who the ball does not leave their foot, right? When I see Henry, I see someone who can just run 4 steps and put the ball in the back of the goal. When I see Ronaldo, I just see a sort of dynamicism that I've never seen in any footballer. But I would say Ronaldo and Henry are two of the best ever to play the game. Like, they're at the same level, but Ronaldo's done it a little more, right? I mean, Henry won in a Barcelona, but that was already a pre-built team, right? Henry went to the New York Red Bulls and won. I don't think he won anything. I just think that over world football overall, to me, it's got to be Ronaldo.
Yeah, okay. I expect you to go down another road, but that's not.
Oh, what did you expect? You think I'm going to say Messi?
I did.
Really?
I actually, when I did mine, I said Pele, but there we go.
Right. See, and that's another thing. I've only seen footage of Pele, like the movie, the documentary, and as a kid, New York Cosmos.
I already seen him play on the TV, but I was in FA Cups, World Cups, and he was just a phenomenal footballer. But there we are.
Sure. Right, and that right, and I was still in high school, like in the early '90s when Maradona was around, and I really couldn't see him. Right, the hand of God. I remember that because I was like 1986. Yeah, I was definitely watching then. I just right, and Maradona. I mean, all those guys are brilliant, but if you really sit back and look at like the current era, Messi and Ronaldo are equal. But for me, it's Ronaldo because, like I said before, you're able to win trophies at different clubs in different countries, etc. But Messi scored more goals. I mean, and they're two different types of players, right? It's what you prefer. I think, right, because Ronaldo's a wide winger that can cut, invert with tricks and flicks and score from any angle. And then he was a striker at Real Madrid, right? He was their number 9. And, Messi to me was always that right / winger that can dribble the ball nicely, but he didn't have that. Just I don't know that thing. Whatever Ronaldo has is that it, right? We call it it. He has it. She has it. Whatever it is, they've both got it.
He's a top class player, man.
It's incredible. Yeah.
Netweed says, respect to the old guard Gooners with his true standards and not just media sound bites from a veteran fan. Yeah, there you go. Kyle's a tadpole in 79. Fair play, mate. Kyle says, Hen and Goon, hello, mate. Hope I find you in good health. So, yeah, just something. I'll do some of these chats and I'll come back to you, man.
Perfect.
No one was available, FC. Any idea how long Havertz is out for, Jez? Dear Lord of Jesus. Do you know, mate, I'm not actually convinced he's injured. To be honest, I reckon that is a gameplay by Arsenal. I really do. I honestly think it might be a gameplay. Man City did it with Foden in the last international break, if you remember. Yep. And I reckon Arteta may have woken up and thought, well, I've got a thin squad as it is, can't afford injuries. I'm going to tell him to say, I've got a knock. I've pulled something here. You know what I'm saying? It's all mind games. Hendon says David Price was the first goal scorer in the 79 Cup final. He ended up being a mini cab driver in northwest London. He was the cab driver that would ferry my ex-girlfriend from work in Hampstead over to my home. Okay, fair enough. Arsenal aside, says Carl, it's Zidane for me. Yeah, another great player. Agreed, DAL, Ronaldo, the GOAT. Yeah. Anyway, okay, mate. So you've gone with Ronaldo. I'm not going to ask you that one because that's not fair.
Come on, Jess, ask me something.
Well, it's not fair because it's not fair to ask you that.
Okay.
Best away game best Arsenal away game you can remember.
Oh man. It's got to be the 1-0 against Real Madrid.
Yeah.
But Henry just took the ball and just did Henry things. Oh man. This is the best Arsenal away game, right?
Any competition?
I know, but I know, and I'm trying to think of which was the Tottenham one when Lucas Torreira scored. Was that away? And Lucas Torreira ripped his shirt off. I think that was away, and Lacazette scored. And I think that was the 5-2 game, wasn't it, or 4-2?
I'll give you a clue of a couple.
Okay. Any clue will help.
Arsenal winning the league at Old Trafford or Arsenal winning the league at Tottenham?
Of course. Oh shit!
Out of them, make a choice out of them two.
It's got to
And
be
I'll tell
United.
you where
It's
I
got
would.
to be United, bro. It's there. That era. It has to be United, because we're, in my opinion, I know you disagree with this in ways in certain aspects, Jazz. I think United, because of trophy haul, world recognition, all those variables, to me, make United more of a rival than Tottenham. And I know you disagree with that, and I respect that.
No,
Because there's
It's
geographical issues with that, right?
Arsenal Tottenham's tribal. It's not so much rival, it's tribal because they're only
true.
just down the road. But I went when I asked myself that question, I said Man United, because 1971 we won the league at Tottenham. So we'd already done it. We've done it once. I remember that as a kid when we won the league 1971. So to beat Man United in that great team they had, to win the league 1-0 at Old Trafford, that was against Sir Alex Ferguson. That was a massive. Anyway, that's my answer, and you have agreed. Okay, here's one for you then. I think I know you'll go on this. Best Premier League manager.
Alex Ferguson.
Yeah, it has to be, isn't it?
Just barely, man. I mean, Wenger was right there, but there were times that, especially, I got to say again, the 2010 era, around that time when City were kind of setting themselves up, Chelsea were winning things. United I think they've won maybe a couple of titles in and out that 5-year span. But the team, I thought at the time, Jez, was just kind of lost. Like United had Ronaldo and he was just scoring everywhere. They had Rooney, they had Tevez, right? And I know I'm talking 2007. So I guess if I go 2010, I guess like before the Danielson, Senderos, Johan Juru era was terrible. But there were so many bad teams at that time that it almost made us look good. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, we were still finishing third, fourth, and I think second at one point. I forget what year that was, but it just, the Wenger era was done. There was many times between 2010 and of course, 2018 when he left, that I thought that it would be the end. For that last 8 years was really up and down for me as a fan.
A lot of people going for Tottenham, the 2-2 to win the Invincible game season. I get that. But to me, to win 1-0 against Man United at Old Trafford, to beat them at their ground, I still think that's quite a feat. Yeah, when we beat Tottenham in 71 to win the double, that was something else. And the fact there is a blue plaque on their stadium, right, in the toilet bowl, right, to say Arsenal won the league here twice in 71. Yeah.
That's funny.
Love it. Anthony's gone with Tottenham on that one. Hey, did you get your mug? I've not heard from you. Netweed says, unfortunately, Cole, players like Ibra spread bad word about us to the elites. We're that club that act too nice. We are like a fancy museum that almost got lucky in the modern era. Football was noticed. Arsenal 5 league. Yeah, that's what I went for, mate. I went for that. Yeah, 78. December the 23rd. I remember that game very, very well. Liam Brady did his chip over Ray Clements. Was it Ray Clements or Pat Jennings? I can't remember now. I think it's Pat Jennings. Fergie, says Anthony. Yeah, all day long. We are so blessed that Sir Bergkamp and Henri noticed and cared around 96. Well, we had a proper management base then, didn't we? We got players in. Anyway, let's move on.
Sure.
Right. What's your best? This is a tough one. I had to really think about this. And I wrote these questions, for God's sake.
Oh, yes.
Best Arsenal defender.
It's between, for me, and the era,
Going to start
between Sol Campbell and Tony Adams.
Hey?
God, between Sol Campbell and Tony Adams. Between those two, I'm gonna have to say William Saliba. I got to go Tony Adams.
Yeah, I went with Tony
For
Adams.
sure. For the short amount of time I was able to see him week in and week out, he was a brick wall. And O'Leary was good too. Anthony just mentioned. Yeah, I'd have to say Tony Adams, because we never. Let's see. So we went from Tony Adams to Sol Campbell, if I'm correct, right? And then went from Sol Campbell to, and this is where I get a bit lost. We went from Sol Campbell to was it? I mean, it could have been Koscielny.
No, we had other players before that.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Senderos?
you had Senderos after Sol, but you had players. I mean, I thought about
Colo Torre. That's what I'm thinking of. Thank you, Shades.
Like Pat Rice back in the day, you know, Tony Adams, obviously, Dixon, Winterburn, Steve Bold. I mean, we had a plethora under the George Graham and early Wenger years. We had a plethora of class defenders,
right?
Proper defenders, you know, and we were privileged. Let's be honest,
right? But yeah, Colo Torre is the one I was thinking of. I knew there was a top player after Campbell before the whole shit show of Koscielny, Mustafi, Senderos, Giroud, Paletta, Squillaci. I mean, that's the Paletta Squillaci years were absolutely horrible. Koscielny, I've never rated Koscielny. I never rated Mustafi. I thought Koscielny was absolute fucking liability.
Not in the same league, man.
Oh, I thought it was awful. Ashley Cole was fantastic, though.
Ashley Cole was a legend.
Incredible.
Anthony says, no, haven't received it yet, Jez. Well, I posted it Friday, and Aaron got his on Saturday. I know the post is slowed down in the southwest, so it's obviously coming by tractor.
My Pony Express still.
Yeah, Pony Express. Carl says Tony.
Yeah,
a lot of people going down the same road here. Anthony said Ams, but O'Leary was good too. Yeah. What's up, everyone? Says Dr. C. Arsenal FC proctologist. Be up, Jez and the DAL. Arnie Slot, as a Liverpool fan, you need to support Arteta like we support you. Hello. Okay. Cole Torre.
Top defender. Now, there was a story. I know we're going to digress for a second. Colo Torre, obviously, older brother of Yaya Torre. Now, we were posed to get Yaya Torre, right? And didn't City just pip us to him?
Yeah.
Or did he just, okay.
We just did. We weren't paying the money, were we?
But not during that time. No, absolutely not. That was our selling era.
Well, we were told we didn't have money, but that was
right.
That was a load of lies. Lauren and Ashley Cole were wicked, good fullbacks. Yep. Disappointed with Ashley Cole, though, when he fucked off to Chelsea. Right, best Arsenal goalkeeper, mate. Give me your best Arsenal goalkeeper.
Manuel Almunia. Just kidding.
Okay.
For me, again, I mean, I know the best is David Seaman, but for me, it's Mad Jens, because that was what I was able to see week in and week out. It's to me Jens Lehmann.
Yeah, well, he was in the Invincibles, I suppose. So
right. And
and
that's why I got to see more on telly. So
I'll tell you where I went. I went with I went with David Seaman. I'll tell you for why. His consistency.
Right.
I also thought about John Lukic, because the amazing goalkeeper he was in the 89 season.
Okay.
I went with Seaman because he was fantastically consistent. And basically, Jens Lehmann, with his stupid thing he did, cost us the Champions League. So that sort of pissed me off. I've never forgiven him for it. Adams and Cherry Cole, Ashley Cole, Cheryl Cole, yeah, I know what you're telling me. One sent me Gunner. Does the League Gunner team still hate Wenger? I don't hate Wenger. I love
The
Wenger.
League Gunner team.
I love Wenger.
Hilarious.
I tell you what, when people were calling for his head, right? Yeah, when I was still going to the Emirates, I used to say to people, be careful what you wish for. Right? Be careful, because who are we going to get? And we know what happened. Although I really liked Emery, I won't lie. Thomas Vermaelen, yeah, he was a good defender.
He was good too.
He was a good defender.
Lauren was.
Yeah, he was class. Why we let him? Seaman, says Anthony. Absolutely agree with you on that one. John Lukic, says Liam. I'd also agree with you on that. I thought he was a legend goalkeeper. Bob Wilson, absolute top. Goalkeeper forever. Then became the Arsenal goalkeeping coach. I mean, wow.
Huh. And that was during the 79 run or the 71 run?
Bob? No, it's Pat Jennings.
Okay.
Pat Jennings.
What decade was Bob Wilson?
60s, 70s.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, mid-70s.
Gotcha.
And then we had a goalkeeper you've probably never heard of, Jimmy Rimmer. He was the backup for Bob Wilson. He was a good goalkeeper, actually. Went off to Man United. The match day guru says, I never saw much of Seaman, so I have to go with Lehman. Fair enough.
That's kind of where I stand, too.
170 Gunner says, how could a small club like City spend money and Arsenal couldn't? Well, back then they didn't have money. They didn't have money back then, but they got bought out. Keywise locksmiths and security specialists. Bob Wilson lives near my brother. Lovely man, Bob Wilson. Put on the shade, had to go with Seaman. Jens had that bozo gene. He did, and it cost us in the Champions League. If he hadn't got sent off, mate, we'd have won.
Yep.
Dr. Seymour Butt says, I'm still a bit miffed with Szczesny. I always rated him. He was a good goalkeeper.
He was good, anyway,
yeah. Right, Dal, this is one for you. This is a good one.
Right.
Worst Arsenal game ever.
Oh shit. God. Well, we've done a lot of shows on some pretty shit ones, Jez, in the last couple of years, to be honest. There you go. There was a game. We lost to Bradford City one year, didn't we?
Yeah.
Bradford City. Right? An FA Cup.
Yeah, we did.
I don't remember the year. I remember another game where Emmanuel Abui got subbed on, then subbed off, and we lost that one. I think that was maybe a Champions League group stage or Europa group stage game. Do you remember the game where Abui got subbed off and subbed on and subbed off about 15 minutes later, and everybody was booing him?
Yeah.
05-06 Champions League. Yeah, that probably could have been it. That was a horrible. One of the games under Arsene Wenger was absolutely shit. That was against Rapid Vienna in the Europa League, tied 2-2. I won't forget that one. The Man United 8-2. That's right, Anthony. The Man United 8-2 for me takes the cake. We were absolutely horrible horse shit that day. Yeah. I have never seen a team. It was over by the time we stepped out on the pitch. The lineup was bad, and the weather was bad. I don't know whether has anything to do with it, but the lineup was all wrong. I think we had several injuries out.
We had
a tear. What's that, Jez?
Yeah, we had no bench whatsoever.
We literally had like 7 or 8 first 11, 6, 7 the top first 11 players out. Yes, that was a slaughter. So I would go with the 8-2. I'd go with the 8-2.
That's
I
what
had kind of forgotten about that game.
I was actually at that game, and it was
The Birmingham City game.
it was painful to stay. It was painful to actually not walk out at half time. That for me was in all the years I've watched Arsenal, I've seen some shit. That is the worst of the worst.
That was who was the back four? Was it like Kieran Gibbs?
Did we have a back four that day? I don't remember.
we had 3 midfielders, 3 strikers, and a keeper. God, I'm going to have to go through and find that, Jazz, and I'll have to send that to you on Insta or something. Find that lineup again. Somebody's in the chat. Find the lineup of that 8-2 if you can, if we got time.
I could look it up down there in that book, but I can't.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, Anthony 8-2. Worst Arsenal defeat. Do you know that? I'll give you a little fact here, people. That is the worst Arsenal defeat since 1947. There you go. In the Champions League. Yeah, that wasn't good either.
Yeah.
They grew both close call, but both bad. Yeah, none of them were good. 05-06 Champs League. Wrexham 93 FA Cup 1-0 Mickey Thomas. Yeah, that was that was a bad day out as well. That one. City aren't small, mate. Try Monaco having Mbappe in a second Teta. Forward season into his tenure was dishing out 100k contracts to Eddie Shitekia. Up all about ambition. Yeah,
he's on it today.
There we are. Ravi says, question DAL, from when you first started watching Arsenal, who for you was your best midfield that graced the team? Best midfield.
First starting. Now Dennis Bergkamp was kind of a hybrid, right? Central attacking mid / center forward. I wouldn't really call him a midfielder, would you, Jez?
Not really.
No, it was more of a center forward, right? I'd have to say Fabregas. By the time I was, like I said, a few times now, by the time I was really able to watch the team week in and week out, that era has to be Fabregas for me.
Well, the best midfield for me would be Pires, Bergkamp, Vieira. But anyway, okay. So we've done that. Worst game. Right. This is one. Your worst Arsenal player. In all the games you've watched, your worst Arsenal player.
Did I get Robbie's question wrong? Did I say midfielder or midfield?
Ravi was asking midfield.
Oh, I would agree with the 3 you said, Jez, for sure. Yeah, sorry about that, Ravi. I thought you said midfielder. No, but I would agree with the Bergkamp, Pires, and Vieira for sure. What was the next question, Jez? Sorry, my worst Arsenal player ever.
Arsenal player you've ever seen.
Let me see. Oh God. Johan Giroux's close, but Yaya Sanogo.
Sanogo.
Yeah, and this is why he was phenomenal in the French under 21s. Like he was scoring goals. Even is it Arsenal under 18s or under 21s too? He was scoring goals on the regular, like all the time. And he made his debut. I think he made his debut for France, or played pretty well, and that's what kind of I think moved him up in the Arsenal ranks. Sanogo, Andre Santos, Squillaci. I mean, there's a list. Squillaci, yeah. Gervinho was pretty bad. Shamak was probably worse than Sanogo. Oh fuck! I'm gonna go with Squillaci. Sebastian Squillaci.
I went Shamak. That guy was absolute shit.
Yeah, he was terrible.
He was terrible, man. You could have gone with Joachim Park as well.
But you know, funny, Jess, a real thing that he was scoring goals like crazy in Bordeaux. In Bordeaux, before we bought him, he was bossing the French league. And he came to Arsenal and was complete.
He wasn't the levels for this league.
No. But he was smashing them at Bordeaux.
It was different league, mate. Different
It
level.
is.
Jules Graham said Anthony last season losing 2-0 to Millwall. Kennedy scored the winner, then went to Liverpool. But what? Oh, hang on. What are we talking about here? We're not under Jules Graham as manager. Sorry, I thought you were talking about under manager. No. You're talking about Ray Kennedy. No, you got that wrong. Jules Graham last season losing 2-0 to Millwall. You talk about Ray Kennedy, scored the winner, then went to Liverpool. Ray Kennedy went, that was 74. That was 1974 he went to. If you're talking about Ray Kennedy.
That was before Anthony was born.
Oh, I don't know what you mean, mate. Dr. Seymour Butts says Chesney, Jenkinson, Giroud, Koscielny, Traore, Ramsey, Coquelin, Rosicki, Walcott, RVP are shaving.
Are you really? Go back to that, Jez. That was the lineup for the 8-2 defeat? You shitting me?
Yeah.
We had Rosicki, Walcott, and RVP in our Shavin on the pitch.
Yeah.
Jenkinson. Wow. Who the hell is Traore?
Don't you remember him? Traore.
No. Kind of. No. He was left back?
Well, no, they're not all the positions, but.
Well, I mean, you got the midfield, right? Wow.
If you'd seen that midfield that day, dear God.
I remember watching that. I do not vividly remember watching that game. I remember watching it, but it's kind of all a shadow now. Maybe I turned it off.
I was there.
Yeah.
It was pissing with rain. It was a shitty day, right? And we were getting absolutely taken to pieces. This defeat.
That's right.
The 8-2 defeat. Shocking, man.
Nice one, Doctor. Thank you.
That was FA Cup against Millwall. I don't get the Kennedy bit. What was the Kennedy bit, Anthony?
Ramon Traore.
I remember that. I don't know who Kennedy was. But you're right. No, you are right. Can't argue with Perez, Bergkamp, Vieira.
That was the best. That was the best.
Yeah, that was legend, man. That was legend. Match day guru. Yeah, big up to you, man. Franny Jeffers, terrible, awful. I mean, all the answers I've given to these questions myself. Big up, Guna Gossip. Go and support Guna Gossip TV. Lovely lady. Does great shows. Talks absolute facts. Go across and sub to her. Michael, put on the show. Michael had ironically one of our worst players. Yeah, he wasn't great. He was beyond washed up by the time he joined us. Yeah, he was a panic buy, man. Panic buy. Johan Giroud. Yeah, you did say that, Liam. Yeah, he was terrible. Rabbi says, big up Jez and Dal. Respect for answering my question. No, always, man. That's what the chat's for. Rabbi says, Gavrino was bad and Shamak. Yeah, Shamak was terrible, man. Absolutely. He was the big promise, wasn't he? Big promise, and he never delivered.
Mm-hmm.
Will Todd pissed me off, but got to like him in the end for obvious reasons. Old Trafford comes to mind. Well, that was one game he did turn up. Let's put it right.
Yeah.
Who, as the left back, very bad. Says that. And catchy for me, at least we still had a league title winning manager under Sham Crap. Well, we had a decent manager, that's for sure. Andres Santos. Oh, my days, yeah.
Left back, yeah.
All the names are coming out now. That Stefanovs. Kim Calvin.
With his broken back, yes. Jesus Christ. That, I think, I got to be honest,
mate.
I got to be honest, Jez, that Kim Kallstrom deal was, I think that kind of put me on the edge. I think the moment that was made, I was Wenger out. Like, he's really lost the plot. It's the recruiting. Is it him? I remember just being like, at that was a turning point for me. Like, what direction are we fucking heading to?
Yeah,
That was the turning point window.
It was bloody shocking. Let's be honest. I mean, why would you do that? You know what I mean? Why would you do that?
He has a major back injury, and you sign him, and you play him. He played, what, 1 or 2 matches?
It's like buying a bloody Ferrari with a blown engine. You know, why? Why would you do it? Hendon says, Jez, ask for history more. I do hope you'll do a show on all the Dross players Edu have signed. I am going to do that, mate. I'm doing all these streams during the international break. There's something else to talk about, to be honest. Anyway, last question, mate. Last question.
Right.
Now, this is a little bit unfair.
A little bit, Randy.
Out of the games you've seen, right? No, out of the stadium you've seen.
Yeah.
What, in your honest opinion, I know you've never been, so it's a bit unfair.
Sure.
Emirates or Highbury?
Highbury, because the crowd is right down on him.
Yeah.
Because here, Highbury was right on the pitch. With Emirates, you got a freaking, what? You got like a track or some shit between the crowd and the goal, and you know there's space between it. It reminds me of the Olympico Stadium where Roma used. I don't know if they play there now.
I am.
Because they would have like so much room behind the back of the goal to the fans. Why? I like the stadiums that, like Highbury, you were right there. Right? You were right there. Right? You know, when they score a goal down, you can't even see the fans cheering in the back half the time unless the camera does the pan. But in the old, you know, when Highbury was still around, every time the camera would pan in on us attacking a goal or vice versa, you can see the crowd right there in the left half of your TV screen. You know what I mean? Because they were right there, Jez. You would know better than me, right? The crowd was right there.
We were right on the pitch. That is why when we got the Champions League the first season, we weren't allowed to play at Highbury. We had to go and play at Wembley.
At Wembley, yeah.
Until we had to. I can't remember what we had to do. We had to do be up Charlotte, but we had to do something. But there we go. Anyway, there we go. DAL has done his Arsenal journey, and thank you everyone that's joined and watched and liked and smashed the likes up and all that dramas. Tomorrow night is Lee Gunner at 3:15 in the afternoon, and then after that, I've got to remember. Hang on. Oh, blimey, 2 tomorrow. And then no, it's TJ, your partner in crime.
When is he? Tomorrow?
Sorry?
When's TJ?
Yeah, tomorrow at 7:30.
Okay.
Lee's at 3:15.
Nice.
170 likes the Emirates. I don't like it. It's soulless to me. But hey, each our own. God bless Highbury, says Irving. Special place. Yeah, special place in my heart, that is for sure. Jez, ask about which badge to choose. Okay. Dal, which badge would you choose? Arsenal.
You guys are probably going to slaughter me for this. I really don't mind the new crest, what we have now. The old one's nice too. I don't know. I guess my preference would be the one we have now.
What the new one?
Dave.
What, the one with the new cannon? Is that?
Yeah, the one I got behind me in the flag. I don't know if the cannon's changed.
Yeah, I can see it.
Oh, I see. It has changed. Yep. I like the one you got, Jez. I don't have a shirt. I don't have any shirts with that old school badge on it.
Well, that one.
Yeah, behind you. I don't have any kits with that. I wish I'll have to call up Strasbourg Steve and see if he's got an old Arsenal kit he could sell me that has the old badge. I don't know. I always like the new one. I don't know. I guess I've never really paid much attention to that, to be honest.
You can get if you get a replica. I've got my original one over there actually. if you get a replica bruised banana, that badge
Ooh.
behind me is on that.
Okay, well,
And all the ones before that from about 1980.
yeah, I haven't really the very first Arsenal shirt I got was the Invincible shirt, the big O2 with the Nike and
The burgundy.
yeah. Oh no, the big. It was white and it had the longer sleeves, had the big O2. It wasn't the burgundy one. It was just the red and white one, the home one.
Okay.
Yeah, the Invincible one. Yeah.
I don't know if I got that anymore. Kai says, Jez, I saw that stream of you and also ripping Highbury squad, and she knows Arsenal and Dan Potts' stream. Well, yeah, they're just idiots, mate. Sure.
I saw that stream too. Woo! That was a wild one.
Yeah, I just can't listen to people like that. I'm sorry, they're just talking shit. But anyway, people, thank you, everybody. Jez, if I was to win the league this season, will you get the home shirt? If it's bought for me, yeah. I haven't bought an Arsenal shirt in years, to be honest with you. There's your gift from the wife or my daughters or whatever. So, no, if in fairness, if Arsenal were to win the league, I would buy it myself, and I'd buy the proper one, the one that the players wear. I've got like 2 seasons ago one, so I've got that. The irony now, the Latin quote, "Lol, victory through harmony, Concordia Crescit," yeah, and all that. That's gone out the door. So yeah, but Dal, thank you for coming on, my friend.
Oh, thanks for having me on. It was
And
fun.
shout your channel out, mate. What are you doing? What is coming up?
Check me out on Oregon Goon on YouTube.com. So find me infamous_DAL at Instagram. And I think Friday, still figuring out a guest for Friday with TJ. Check us out on the American Idiots. I think we have episode 77 coming up this Friday at 1 p.m.
77. Wow.
77. Yeah, we've been flying through these. So yeah, with TJ, and Connor hasn't been on in a while. Connor's been doing kind of his own thing. I think going out with his friends, living the college life and working. So shout out Connor. Hope you're watching. But yeah, TJ every Friday 9 p.m. UK American Idiots show, and then of course I'll hop on with you, Jez, whenever you're available and I got some time, and do a watch along together or something. So yeah, I was pretty hammered at the last show, Anthony. I was. Yeah. No Jameson today. But yeah, big up everyone in the chat. Thanks for your questions. There's some questions there we didn't get into. Maybe next time. So yeah, keep those questions coming for Friday's show with me and TJ. And thanks again, Jez. It's noon, ready to eat a sandwich and ready for the last half of my day.
77 shows, and I was on the first one. That's mad.
You're on the very first one? Yeah.
Dal was drunk on the last show.
Yeah, buzzed.
Anyway, people, we're out of it. I've got to go over now and go and join Mr. Gunner. And thank you all for watching, liking, subscribing. And tomorrow, as I say, is lead Gunner at 3:15, and then TJ at 7:30, and then Wednesday night, and then Thursday night, and Friday night, and Saturday. Loads of these shows coming up. And I'm just trying to, a couple of people still got to confirm times. But I think it's quite fun, something different.
Yeah, no, totally fun. It is something different. It's nice not to be, and people say we're negative, we're just critically thinking about the club, right? We just want what's best for the club. So it's nice to do these shows, Jez, a nice break away from what we're at now, even though I'm happy with where we are right now, somewhat, So it's not all doom and gloom, Jez. Thanks again for having me on, and yeah, big up the chat.
Always, mate. Always. Right, we're out of it, people. Take care. Have a good evening and stay safe. Look after yourselves as always.